Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Anytime you're watching this video, welcome back to iTeach series, which is hosted by CTE Academy. My name remains Dr. Samuel, your lead instructor. All right, last week we talked about job insecurities as one of the pain points of teachers, and today we're talking about low salaries. Yeah, low salaries. I know that some of you have been waiting to this very video. Here it is. All right, first of all, I would like to establish the fact that we have two categories of schools. Now, the first category is the startup, and the second category will be the scale ups, right? So, startups are schools that are just coming into existence, and there are so many things that will be fixed in the startup. Now, we'll talk about the scale ups. Scale ups are schools that have been in existence for some years, but they are looking forward to expansion, they're looking forward to growth to accommodate more students, to have more patronage. So, having established these two categories in mind, we can now go to the reasons why schools have the issue of low salaries, which is a major pain point to teachers in the private sector. All right. Now, number one is financial constraints. Now, when you look at the startup schools, you find out that most times when schools are being opened, if you don't have enough savings before you start up that school, you find out that you have issues paying a level or a certain amount to teachers who work in your school or staffs who work in that very sector or that very school. Why? Is because you have limited financial resources to cope up with that. All right. So when you a teacher who finds yourself in such a school or in such an environment, the honest truth is this: you don't have to expect so much from your proprietor or your proprietress, because they are also at the point paying for the school environment. They are also at the point paying for so many things that maybe the government will be charging them and all that. I've been in a school whereby someone came and was like, we should pay for waste management. And I was like, what waste management? Because we burn our refuse and all that. And at the end of the day, before that man left, we give him about 10,000 naira. So it's not really funny on their end. So you may want to begin to look into some of those things before you get into such settings. So financial constraints is one of the major issues that startup schools have. And even for scale ups, when they want to expand the school, you find out that so much funds is actually going into that. I will discuss about this very um, point of scale for the scale up schools later on. So, secondly, is the tuition fees. Now, you find out that private schools at a point tend to compete with the government schools. Why? Because everybody is looking for patronage. The more students you have, the more funds you have, the more money comes, revenue you have, and you're able to pay staffs and all that and do a lot of things in the school. So at some point, you find out that proprietaries or proprietors now begin to reduce their school fees to accommodate even the low income earners to be able to fit into the payment. Now, in doing that, the truth is this: there is always a compromise on teachers' salaries. So when you see a school paying low, that's one of the reasons they pay low. Ask what the tuition fee is. Most times, teachers don't do due diligence before they get into an environment or a job. It is necessary you do your due diligence so that you don't have the issues of I wish I have known I won't have come into this place or all that. So do your due diligence before you get into that sector so that you don't have to complain or you don't begin to work inefficiently in such environments. All right. So the third is philosophy and mission. Philosophy and mission. This is going to be narrowed down specifically to scale ups. Some school owners have a mindset, and that mindset is a business mindset. On a norm, school is supposed to be a family where everybody comes together, we are happy, we do things as it benefits each other. But when the business mindset comes in, you now begin to see priorities which may not favor the staff of the school. When you have a school and you're thinking of scale up, you begin to think of, okay, I want to begin to get more patronage, probably from people that are outside my locations. I've once had a boss like that. She was about doing scale up, and she needed patronage from people who were not within her location. So for her to be able to bring those students down to school, she needed to get a bus, which is fine. But at the same time, she was owing more than a month's salary. So you can now see where priority lies. She needs more students. She went all out, got a loan to get the school bus at the expense of paying her staff salary. So imagine, okay, she gets a school bus and the staffs resign and all that. So that is where her priority lies. And at a point from the business angle, it makes sense. So that's why, again, I'm going to tell you that before you get into any teaching environment, please do your due diligence. Ask necessary questions before you get in. All right. I will give you an instance of another proprietress still within my location. And she was about doing scale up, and she was able to discuss with her staff. She called her staffs together and she told them, please, this is what we're about to do. And because of this, even though she took a loan from the bank, we're going to downsize on your salary. And it was a uniform agreement. Now, not everybody will be able to do that, to seek the consent of teachers or let them know that this is the reason why there's going to be a change in salary and all that. And it was for a while. And when everything was done, salaries went back to normal. So, but not everybody is like that. So you can now see that people have different philosophies, people have different mindset as to why they do what they do, or as to why they lay certain priorities, where they lay those priorities. Those are some of the reasons why low salaries are being paid in private schools. So my own advice to you is, in everything you do and wherever you find yourself, please be intentional about your growth. You cannot keep teaching in a startup school forever. You cannot keep being in one place for long. So what makes the difference, or what will make difference for you, is your intentional growth, is your ability to evolve even while on the job. And that's why SIS Academy is here. Part of our services also involves teachers training. And if you're interested, please send a DM now and we'll get you enrolled in the class. So do see you same time next week on another iTeach My Pain Points. Thank you.